Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.NTVforex.com. Forex News NTVforex. Erste Bank Research Team. Erste Bank. Following. ECB Governing Council Meeting, EU Summit. http www.ntvforex.com. News ID F1E15E.710 12:33:47 p.m. Course of crisis to determine monetary policy. Next week, the ECB's Governing Council will meet. This will be the first meeting after the EUR600 increase in the PEPP program and the extension of the minimum duration until June 2021. Overall, developments since then have been in the Governing Council's favor. Economic indicators showed a further recovery and the situation on the financial markets continued to ease. The risk premiums of other government issuers have remained stable compared with Germany, as have the risk premiums of corporate bonds. Share prices also rose. The ECB achieved this with relatively constant purchasing volumes for its program. See graph. With a volume of purchases like in June, the ECB would be able to continue with the currently set framework into March 2021. However, as the environment continues to stabilize, we expect monthly purchases to decline over the coming months, so that the current PEPP framework should be sufficient until June 2021. However, if the funds are exhausted earlier, the ECB will not hesitate to increase the available funds. Either way, however, there will be no reason to announce or even implement a change in monetary policy at next week's meeting. At the press conference, President Lagarde will certainly point out the continuing risks. The coronavirus crisis is far from over, even if the contagion in the Eurozone as a whole is currently under control. Globally, however, developments have certainly deteriorated over the past few weeks. Lagarde's most important statement, however, will remain the flexibility of the PEPP program, and this is intended to signal to the markets once again that the ECB can and will react in an adaptive manner to pressure on individual issuers or categories of securities. According to our calculations, the ECB has so far data only up to May made use of this possibility for Italian government bonds, the actual share of which is clearly above the capital key. The capital key is also the benchmark for the distribution of government bond purchases in the PEPP, but temporary deviations are permitted. EU Summit Recovery Plan in Focus. Next week, July 17-18, EU leaders will meet together in Brussels for the first time since the outbreak of the pandemic. On the agenda are the Recovery Plan for Europe and the long-term EU budget, two issues that will lead to intensive and controversial discussions. The European Recovery Plan has been in the spotlight for weeks, and the European Commission has proposed implementing it by means of a next-generation EU instrument worth €750 billion. In essence, three delicate points need to be clarified before implementation. To finance the recovery plan, the EU intends to issue bonds on the capital market independently, based on its top credit rating. To increase its credibility vis-à-vis the capital market, the Commission is proposing a temporary increase of 0.6% in its annual financial framework from the current 1.2% GDP per member state. This would create a financial buffer in the EU budget. The planned increase has already resulted in incomprehension among some member states. However, the bonds are not to be redeemed via the existing financial framework, but rather by expanding existing levies, e.g. CO2 border adjustment levy, or introducing new levies, e.g. digital tax. A substantial share of the financial resources of the reconstruction plan, €500 billion, is to be provided in the form of grants. Countries such as the Netherlands, Austria, and Sweden are still reluctant to provide grants, mainly due to domestic political pressure. The third central point is the distribution key, which is based, among other things, on the level of prosperity and the level of unemployment in the respective regions. At present, among the countries in the Eurozone, Greece, Portugal, and Spain would particularly benefit from the recovery plans. Although there may still be room for amendments to the details, we expect an agreement on the recovery plan and the EU budget to be reached in autumn. The financial resources of the recovery plan would then be available to the member states from the beginning of 2021. In the end, economic interests will prevail, because the core aim of the plan is to ensure a rapid and stable economic recovery for the entire EU. In particular, small, open economies in central geographical locations, such as the Netherlands or Austria, are major beneficiaries of the EU's single market. They therefore have a considerable vested interest in a flourishing EU economy. Against this background, a first rapprochement should be possible at the EU summit next week. Download the full week ahead. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.